welcome to the Pittsburgh Dish. I'm your host, Doug Heilman. What are your fondest memories of a wedding cookie table? Laura Magone has built a community to keep the recipes and traditions going strong. Where do you go when you're craving something healthy? Caleb has just the spot. And what savory dinner do you crave when you are a full-time cookie maker? Nick of Inside Out Cookie shares his dish. All that ahead. Stay tuned. Well, thank you so much for coming over and for being on the show.
I'm so glad to be here. Very exciting.
Would you introduce yourself to our listeners and what you have going on in the world of food?
Sure. My name is Laura Magone, and I am the founder of the Wedding Cookie Table Community, which is a Facebook community, and we now have about 408,000 members.
Yes.
All over the country and the world, and it's pretty exciting.
Incredible. How long ago did you bring this community together? Did you create it's a Facebook page is where it really started, right?
Yes. I founded the community in 2015 because I wanted to create a documentary on the history behind the cookie table tradition.
Yes.
And in doing my research, I could find nothing because it wasn't very well documented. So I thought I will start a Facebook page to get the background information that I need. Ask people to send me pictures and, stories and so forth. And there was nothing.
Wow.
So that was my reason for starting the page.
I think it's a very good reason. You get that community engagement, but I'm surprised there was no history to kind of pull from.
So little. And
Yeah.
I think one of my theories is that it's because it's a woman's story.
Oh.
And, we know what, and this is nothing about gender bias, but we know what men did in the wars and in the mines and the mills. But there weren't people running around with cameras taking pictures of women baking cookies because we know that, to take a frame of film was expensive.
Yes.
And if you're indoors, you also need a flash cube, which adds to the price. And so we just didn't have pictures and it was cookies. People thought it was just cookies, but
Right.
it wasn't.
It's so much more.
Yes.
But I think you're so right. So many stories in history have not been told or documented well. So I commend you for, having this goal in mind. And maybe we should just say it for any listener out there that's not familiar, maybe a little bit beyond our region. From my understanding, the wedding cookie table, it sort of happened out of necessity, right? And also your family coming together if you couldn't afford a fancy cake. Tell me, what have you found? Am I off point?
That is the myth.
That's the myth.
I am out to dispel.
Dispel it. Yes.
Because, I cringe every time at a wedding I see a sign that says the couple couldn't afford a cake during the Depression, so they had cookies. Just not true. If you couldn't afford a cake, you couldn't afford the wedding. And during the Depression, my own grandparents, one of the couples lived in Monessen, which is in the Mid-Mon Valley.
Mm-hmm.
They eloped to Charleroi, which is across the river. There was no wedding for them. And then the other set of grandparents on a work day, they took the train into Pittsburgh to get married. People couldn't afford weddings in general.
This big elaborate thing that we think about today.
Yeah.
No, didn't happen.
Right. It didn't happen. And so, and when you think about it, in my mind, the 1930s, it seems like 1,000 years ago. And the 1940s, well, maybe that's 800 years ago, but they're 10 years apart.
Yes.
And I think the tradition really started probably after World War II.
Okay.
And what I think happened was you had people living in the coal patch towns and the little communities, and people of all different ethnic backgrounds came together for celebrations and events where they were mourning a passing. Because cookie tables are associated with happy and sad occasions.
Absolutely.
Cradle to grave, anything from when you're born to when you die and in between. And communities came together and people brought cookies representing their own nationality and their background because that's what they knew how to make.
Yes.
That's how it started.
And I think what you're doing right now, or trying to get your community to do, is to uphold some of that ethnicity, that cultural background, right? Don't let those things die off.
That's exactly what we do. So, and I talk to that because people will say, well, that's not a cookie post. And I'll come back and say, but it's a cultural post. If somebody wants to show us how to make their pierogies or their ravioli or halushki, that's important.
I'm all about all of those things.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And so, we look at that and we like to look at handwritten recipe cards done in cursive because that's how people used to keep their recipe cards.
Yes.
And, people don't realize, and I'm sure you do being, a food expert, but there weren't standardized baking measurements until Fannie Farmer came along.
Right.
And so some of our old recipes, great grandma wrote, put in a blue mug of flour.
Yes, that one blue cup. Where is that blue cup?
Yeah, now we don't know what to do.
I know.
So
I have seen recipes like that. Oh my goodness.
And we look for old recipes. One of my favorite things to have happen is somebody comes to the group and says, my grandmother used to make this. And they describe it to us. Somebody always knows the recipe every time. We reconnect people with their own lost heritage.
Yes. It's a mystery solver moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Aunt Betty made these lemon bars. We don't know how to do it.
Right.
Right.
And all you have to do is describe it. And we've never had an occasion where somebody didn't know how to make that.
I love that. And you did say the group since 2015, we're just past 10 years, has grown to, you're coming up on 500,000 people soon. It's got to be.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, how I started the page, I became like the cookie table crasher. And I would listen for when is there going to be a wedding. And I would ask people, if you know of a wedding, tell me. And then I would go without charging anyone, only to take pictures of their cookie tables.
Yes.
And then I would post them on my page. And it was lonely the first couple years. But eventually it was like someone lit a match and the fire caught and it took off.
Well, I have to say, I looked this morning before you came over. Out of all of my friends on Facebook, over 100 are in the wedding cookie table community.
Wow.
And that's just me.
That's
so a lot of folks
amazing.
are attracted to your group and what you're doing. And I think beyond, showcasing cookies and the baking and, as we said, heritage, I think it's just a joyful group.
It really is, and we keep it that way. It's that way by design, and we don't talk about politics. We don't get into controversy. And I have this little, I don't know what I would call it, mechanism that I have in place. If anyone misbehaves or gets out of line, I send them to a newt farm in Benola, PA. And we send them there to be rehabilitated, and we have insects on hand to feed them, and then they can maybe come back.
Could come back.
Maybe if they get rehabilitated, but we don't put up with it. We don't put up with the nonsense.
I also noticed, as you said earlier, a lot of the baking and cooking may have been done by women in the past, but now there's a lot of men in the group, and you like to make sure people are addressing everyone.
That's one of my rules.
Yeah.
You cannot address your post to ladies. And I actually made it a rule, and I will write to someone and say, you're hurting our fellas' feelings, because we have many male members who are excellent bakers.
Lots of people like to make cookies.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't? And you have to be happy when you eat a cookie. You can't be angry and eat a cookie at the same time.
I think if you eat the cookie, I think I heard this from Ina Garten, you might be angry before you eat a cookie, or maybe after, but not while you're eating the cookie.
Never while. Never. You cannot. It's not physically possible to eat a chocolate chip cookie and be angry. So,
well, you've been going so strong with this group. I have noticed a lot of great things have happened. I think you tried to have the largest cookie table first in 2019, right?
Absolutely. In Monongahela, Pennsylvania, Chess Park.
Over
With
88,000.
88,425 cookies. Now, that's what Guinness counted. They
Okay.
disqualified several cookies, and we were sad about that. But that's what they counted.
You still got a Guinness World Record.
We established the record
My goodness.
because we also had, I think, maybe it was, I can't remember if it was 4 weddings and 2 renewals.
Wow.
So I made it as difficult as possible for someone to break the record.
So good.
Yes. Yes.
And then last year you did another huge meetup. Was it for the 10-year anniversary?
Well, kind of, but we wanted to do something fun. I mean, now that COVID's over, we can do fun things
Together in person.
Right. And actually, I think you're referring to the world's largest Christmas cookie exchange.
Yes.
There was a group in Cleveland who said they had the world's largest Christmas cookie exchange. And I forget what they had, maybe like 8,000 cookies. And I said, oh, no.
Oh, not even close.
Oh, no. So, without trying, and we didn't have a group like Guinness come in for that one.
Okay.
But we counted the cookies ourselves. So my group is clamoring to do this again.
Oh.
So I've actually booked the Hilton Garden Inn at South Point for December 5th, and we'll be trying this again because there's something wrong with us.
Listeners, mark your calendars. You just did something down there. Was it a cookie? What was the thing that just happened in April?
We just had Cookie Table University.
I love the name.
Yeah. And so we had about 1,500 people there.
Okay.
And people come to watch demonstrations on how to make certain cookies. And they came to see the vendors. There's different baking vendors they can visit, but mostly they came for the
cookies.
table.
And we're recording right now in May of 2026. This was just in April.
Yes, just
Okay.
a month ago, 1 month ago. I'm just caught up on my sleep.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
These are big events. Laura, I have to think too, like there is so much when you do an event like this, there are so many supporting characters. And when you said there were vendors, I'm sure I think about Hershey's chocolate. I think about USA Pan. Have you found partners like that throughout the years, people that are big supporters of this group?
Absolutely. And they come back every year. USA Pan is one of them. We've had Hershey there a couple of times. They were there this year, and we were so happy to have them there. We have the Palmer Pizzelle people there. The company name is actually C. Palmer in West Newton, and they are the sole American pizzelle iron maker. There used to be hundreds of them.
And they're
everywhere.
the one that's left.
That's it.
I bought one down in the strip from them.
Good.
Yeah, their brand.
Yep. And there's another company that makes the Lady Lock rods, Grandma Jones.
Oh.
And so, we have quite a following. And once somebody comes, they come back.
Well, I would say too, it's not just a regional-based group. You're supporting other businesses within the region, but also this group has expanded. It's across the country, right?
Right. And actually, for our event, we had people travel in from almost 25 states.
My goodness.
And I'm from Washington County, and so it's important to me to try to keep the event there.
Yes.
And we have support from the Washington County Tourism Agency because that means a lot to a local economy to have these people flying in from everywhere.
Right.
And they're eating at the restaurants, they're visiting the sites. We partnered with the Duncan and Miller Glass Museum this year because they have very beautiful glass pieces from they stopped making them in 1955.
Oh.
And so I thought, this could help them too.
Yes,
and,
beautiful.
I do this for fun. I'm basically a volunteer.
Yes.
I've not accepted any requests from Facebook to monetize this. It's just not worth it for me.
This is your passion project.
Yeah. This is what I'll be remembered for. This is what's going to be on my epitaph.
Oh.
So,
Will you be someone that wants a cookie recipe?
Oh,
have you seen that trend?
I have seen it. And actually, it's kind of hard to talk about because I just lost my mom 1 year ago.
I'm sorry to hear
But
that.
I appreciate that. But she was known in the group as, wonderful Wanda. And I'm persuading my siblings right now to put her biscotti recipe on her tombstone.
I love that idea.
So that's what we're looking at.
Let me grab the tissues.
Oh,
Well, there is a young lady out there that has made a cookbook from folks that have done that. And so often we have heard, back to the story with the blue cup or poorly written recipes, a lot of folks don't even write their recipe down and they pass away. So I think it's a great tribute.
right. Absolutely. Because, I mean, these things are so important. And I've talked about this, you can have this hypothetical conversation. If your house is burning, what are you grabbing to run? I'm grabbing the recipe boxes.
Right.
Those are so important. And I tell people, whenever you look at my mom's recipe boxes, we talk about social networks today. You can see who her social network was.
Right. Through the
her
cookies
recipes.
and the recipes.
And who was she on the landline, burning up the phone lines with and exchanging recipes, and you see their handwriting and it brings back memories.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I love it.
Hi, this is Laura Magone of the Wedding Cookie Table community, and you are listening to the Pittsburgh Dish.
Laura, I'd love to switch gears a little bit. Since we started talking about your mom, I'd love to know a little bit more about cookies in your house and growing up. What's your earliest memory of a cookie table?
Well, earliest memory of a cookie table, it would go back to when I was a child growing up. It was just something that we saw at every wedding.
Yes.
And so, being from the Mid-Mon Valley, like so many others in Pittsburgh, we had the fire hall weddings. People had weddings at, the Ross Draver Ice Arena. I don't know if we were right out on the ice. I mean, with wood over it, I don't know how it worked. But, we were always at these big halls. And my aunts would bake. I think about the aunties and how everybody had a special cookie.
Oh, yes.
And you knew when there was a wedding, Aunt Sylvia was going to make her strawberries. You knew what the strawberry cookie, you knew what everybody would make. And it was just a given that people were going to, as soon as they hear there's an engagement, everybody's excited. And they're calling you to say, I'm baking. What do you, is it okay if I bring this or that?
Yes.
And back then, because I've been working on the evolution of the cookie table too. Back in, when I grew up in the 60s, you didn't have the fancy styled cookie tables. You had a flat table with trays of cookies put on there, and you didn't have take-home boxes. You had to run around and find your own paper napkin to put them in.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now we have all these fancy stands and nice paper boxes or whatever.
Right.
Which I'm okay with that now.
Yeah, it's good.
The
It's
evolution.
Good. It has evolved, but it's not how it was. And I would watch my mom bake, and my mom was a very precise baker. So she was using the measuring cups and leveling with a butter knife.
Yeah, the back of the knife, scrape it off.
She was sifting onto newspaper, and I'm kind of a messy baker.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah, stuff goes everywhere. But my mom always let me cook and bake in her kitchen. I remember frying eggs in a skillet, like from the time I was 5. I just always liked to cook.
Always in there.
And
at
people
5.
would be surprised that I was so small and she would let me. And the other thing, maybe this wasn't good, but she was trying to encourage me to bake, and so she wasn't hung up on me having to clean up, which might not have been a good thing. But she would, and she was happy if I would bake dinner or, cook dinner. And so she'd say, you cook, because I'm, there's 4 kids in the family.
Yes.
And, I talk with this about my friends. Back then, I lived in a home where the mom stayed at home. She was a stay-at-home mom. And we had a school within walking distance, so we would walk home. And so you have a mom who's like turning out 3 meals a day for 6 people. I can't imagine doing that.
What a relief if you, as the kid, could make one of the meals.
Right. And so she'd say, you cook, I can't even think of what to make, and then clean up. And it evolved, and I kept at it. And I think one of the things I remember about cookie baking is we had an aunt who lived in Arizona, and she sent my mom a Betty Crocker cookie book, which it's a red book. People post it on the cookie page all the time. And I remember being about 15, and that's when I started, I wanted to try all these cookies.
Yes.
And so I would make up cookie trays and take them, not to the whole town, but to like 3 people that we were close to. And that's when it started.
It's the fire. I have to ask this because I feel this way. Because you were cooking and baking at such a young age, do you feel confident in the kitchen? Are you ready to like tackle a new cookie recipe any day?
Some of them scare me.
Really?
The macaron scares me to
Okay.
think about. But a lot of them, I think, you know, this could be fun just to try it. But I don't know, in a way, there's comfort in making some of the same cookies, you know, like a pinoli cookie. I love making those. And so I guess it's a little bit of both.
Both,
Yeah,
okay.
but I grew up with the basics like the biscotti and the pizzelle and, you know, so forth. But that macaron scares me. I would
Okay.
like to try it sometime.
That's the French cookie, usually with a filling, and
Yes.
it's sort of a meringue
Yes,
cookie.
yes.
Those are tough.
They look tough, and I know that I see people like taking the batter and bouncing it off of a counter to get the bubbles out.
Yeah, so they're
and-
smooth.
yeah.
Oh,
So
my.
maybe I'll face that and try it sometime. But
Well, you slipped in another answer to a question I had, which was, do you have a cookie or a couple cookies that you always take to somebody's wedding or Christmas?
well, the pinoli is something that I like because it's something people don't make a lot, and it has the pine nuts on the outside. So it's crunchy on the outside and soft in the middle. And it's an
Yes.
almond cookie, so there's no flour in it. So it would be naturally gluten-free.
Even though you didn't know it or care back then.
Right. So that's nice. It's not the cheapest cookie to make because the pine nuts are expensive.
Very expensive.
And the almond paste, which you can either buy or I found it so easy to make, I make it. That's not the cheapest thing to do. So, but I have a cousin with a graduation party coming up in June, and she has nut allergy. So, you know, I have to watch that. But she wants pink cookies. So then I have to think about pink now, incorporating that.
Well, now you need to go back into the archives of the group.
Yes.
Who's made a pink cookie, and
Yes.
did they hit the other parameters you need?
Right. So if I want to do like the peanut butter blossom, I obviously can't do that because of the peanut butter, but there's ways like I can make a cherry base. So it'll be nut-free, it'll be pink, and it'll have the Hershey Kiss on the top.
There you go.
Or maybe the Ceres Blossom.
Oh, I don't know this one.
Well, the Ceres Blossom is kind of like a competitor to the Hershey Kiss because it's flat and it has that great Ceres flavor.
Oh, yes.
But because, you know, the cookie's called a blossom, they have a flower on it.
I get
And
you.
they actually made those, I think, to cover whenever they make the big Easter eggs. And there's a little hole at the top where they inject the filling. They had made those little flowers to cover up that hole.
How interesting.
Yeah. And I went to Sarah's and I said, you know, the traditional blossom is hard to stack. So why don't you come up with something that would be flat and have that great Sarah's flavor? And they did.
Wow.
And my members love them.
Laura, over the years in the group, has there been a cookie recipe or two that have been like real favorites or stunners or something new?
I'd say many. I mean, there are continually new things coming up, and people say that to me. How can there be so many different types of cookies? But there are. So when we did our Cookie Table University in this past April, we wanted to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the country.
Yes.
So what we did was and this took time, we wanted to trace the development of the country through cookie recipes.
Wow.
So we went back to like the 1600s whenever the Native Americans were teaching the colonists to, you know, even what popcorn was and how to get maple sap out of trees. So we started there and we went all the way through, you know, this year. We end the book with the cookie that went to, with the Artemis II. It was a maple cream cookie. And so it's 2 sandwich cookies shaped like the maple leaf with the maple cream filling. And so with this one, almost all of the recipes are new.
Wow.
And one that really stands out that I would say, whenever we would look at famous figures and historical events, and one that we had a president who liked lemon meringue pies. Well, there was no lemon meringue cookie, so we adapted it, and we had somebody come up with a cookie that actually has a lemon sort of filling in the middle with lemon meringue. So around, if you picture a cookie, they have little dollops of the lemon meringue around the edge.
Yes.
And then they took the little creme brulee torch and they
torched it up.
They torched it and have the little dark spots. And right now, that's a favorite.
That sounds amazing.
That's a favorite. So
Oh, my
now I have not
goodness.
attempted that.
No, that sounds highfalutin
But
for me too.
I might be looking at doing that. So we wanted to have 250 recipes, but we have a little addiction problem, I guess. So we're at about 300 recipes. We're putting together a cookbook.
Okay.
Just yesterday, we added the Maya Angelou cookie that someone had suggested that I do. And so we're making her favorite cookie turns out to be the Southern tea cake, which is a plain cookie, but from her book, Why the Caged Bird Sings, we're putting not a mockingbird, a finch. We're putting a goldfinch on it with open wings.
My goodness.
Yeah, so even though the cookbook really should be going to print, we're still adding a couple things.
Okay, so I have questions. Normally I ask what's coming up, but you're going there. So beyond the Cookie Table Facebook page, there is a website. And is this book available for sale, or it will be?
It will be.
Yes.
Right now, and this came out of necessity because our members love recipes. So every time we held an event, they wanted all the recipes. So we started compiling them and making them available.
Like a community cookbook.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. So we are taking pre-orders right now for this upcoming 250th cookbook that is supposed to be available in June. But when I look at the calendar and see the date, I'm concerned.
Laura, I know. I feel you. We're here in May.
Yeah, at the end of May. Yes. So
July 4th would be aggressive, but
yes. Well, and that's what my members are saying. They want to make these for their picnic. Because I think for the 250th, July 4th is kind of the pinnacle. That's what I think.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we have to have this done, and we will.
You'll be under pressure.
Yes, I am.
Cookie pressure.
Believe me, I am. I might have to cancel a lunch on Wednesday because of this. So.
Oh, boy. Well, while we're there, beyond the book, which seems like that's filling up your cup right now, are there any other goals or events or other big things happening this year for the group?
Well, one of the hallmarks of this community, and it ties back to the generous nature of the cookie table, because you have to remember, everybody was baking these cookies and they weren't asking to be paid. We do this out of generosity. And this goes back to our ancestors who were all immigrants, all blue-collar folks who had very little. Yeah. But they wanted to share with others, and they make the cookies. And I think it's part of the DNA of the people who are in my community to want to do good for others and give to them. And so we always take on community projects a few times a year where we come together to bake cookies for an organization or a cause. And over the years, we've supported the metastatic breast cancer group. I mean, these are people, men and women with metastatic breast cancer, who put this fundraiser together. They're really raising money to save their lives because 100% of what they raise goes to pay for research. And we sent a massive cookie table out to Uvalde after the shooting there. And the grieving community came together to experience that. So when we had the Tree of Life shooting in Pittsburgh, that was the first community event we did. We sent a cookie table to the Zone 4 police crew. They were the first responders, the first one in. So a few times a year, we look for causes like that.
Incredible work.
We can't take on everyone. I get asked all the time, would you do a cookie? We can't take them all on, but we do some.
Yeah. I can't think of a better thing during these sort of crazy times.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Because cookies bring people together and make people happy. So, and that I think is something that people in this community really like getting involved with.
Well, I think it's back to creating joy and good humanity. Again, when I look at your page, that's what I feel beyond the cookies.
Well, that makes me happy because
Yeah.
then you're capturing the true essence of this community. And people tell me time and time again that they like coming to the community because it's positive and uplifting and it brings out the best in people. And right now, in these times, there's enough sadness and controversy that this is a break for people.
Absolutely. I love what you're doing.
So, thank you.
Why don't we do this, Laura? If we have some listeners out there that are not part of your group yet, let's remind them of the social places and the website where they can go and visit and learn more about it or join it.
Sure. On Facebook, the name of the group is The Wedding Cookie Table Community. So if they type that in, we should come up. There are a couple of other groups, imposter groups that will come up, but they're not going to have 409,000 members
That's
in
right.
them. And,
That's right.
And then if they want to go to see the website, and I could tell you quickly something I just added to the website. The website is just theweddingcookietable.com. So it's a shorter name. And one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, how many cookies per person do I need for my event?
Oh, the cookie calculator.
So I just came up with a cookie calculator. And that's hard putting something like that out to the public because you don't know how it's going to go. But it's being well received. So somebody can just enter, I ask them 4 questions and I can come pretty close on telling you how many cookies per person you probably need.
I saw the calculator. I didn't try it.
Oh, you got to try it.
Okay, I will try it.
Tell me what you think.
Well, I love that. And truly, what a help. So many people don't know what to order, how many to make.
They have no idea.
No.
And if you, a rule of thumb in our area, in the Pittsburgh area, is a dozen per person.
Oh.
Now, that doesn't mean you're going to sit at the wedding and eat 12 cookies, but you're probably going to take them home and have some for breakfast the next day.
That's right.
But some people have no problem eating a dozen cookies at a wedding. So
It's a good number.
But then if you have the tradition for people who have never had a cookie table before and people are shy and they're embarrassed to go up and take cookies, they might only take 2 or 3, and that's okay too. So you don't have to make a dozen and waste them.
I'm on the higher side.
Now I have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to guess what is the most popular cookie on the cookie table?
I mean, I'm just going to say the ones that I hear people ask about. Lady Locks.
Yep, that's
Lady
it.
Locks.
You got it.
Oh,
You got it.
What do I win?
You win. I'll bring you Lady Locks next time I see you.
Oh my gosh.
And, and the thing that I say to people, we take for granted when you walk into a bakery in our area, what you see there,
Yes.
take it for granted. If you hop on a plane and you go to Florida or Texas or any other state, you're not going to find those cookies.
It is not the same.
These are our regional specialties. And it's something, just like people think everybody everywhere has a cookie table, they think you're going to go somewhere and find a Lady Lock and a Buckeye and a peach cookie, and you're not.
Not true.
Not true,
No.
right?
What we have is special.
It is.
And I love that we're sharing it, but it's ours.
It is. It is. And the secret is getting out.
It is. Laura, it's been so great to talk with you about all things cookies.
Thank you.
We are coming towards the end of our time. I always have an ending question for our guests on the show.
Okay.
The name of the show is The Pittsburgh Dish. What's the best dish you've had to eat this past week?
Ooh, it's got to be pasta.
Pasta.
That's it.
What was it?
It was a basic penne. It was just a penne, but with a good sauce on it. And I've been craving polenta.
Okay.
And in memory of my mom, but I couldn't. I was too lazy to make it, even though it's not that hard. So it's got to be Italian for me.
Well, I was going to say, this is your upbringing, right?
All 4 of my grandparents rode the boat over here, so it's got to be Italian.
With penne with a good sauce.
Yes.
Sounds like a great bite
I'm
to
happy.
me.
and some grated cheese.
Yeah. Laura Magone of the Wedding Cookie Table community. Thank you so much for sharing all about your group and the story of it. And thanks for being on the Pittsburgh Dish.
Oh, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me. You're letting me talk about my favorite thing, so thank you.
Aw. Up next, if you need a break from cookies and are on the search for something healthy, Caleb of Cravings with Caleb knows a place. Hey, Caleb, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. I was wondering if you've had a recent food stop that you're like, I just love going here because it's refreshing. Maybe it's a little healthier. We're moving into warmer weather. Mm-hmm. Is there a spot or a business that comes to mind?
I love Live Fresh so much. They're really, really great people, and they have amazing smoothie options. They have acai bowls. They make all their own juices.
I'm just going to stop you for a second. I know I've seen Live Fresh Juicery.
Juicery, yeah.
Is there one in Regent Square?
There's one in Regent Square, Robinson, one in Northside, and one downtown.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so they have 4 locations.
Idea.
I think they used to have a Homestead location and they moved it to Regent Square.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a local, like, small business,
yeah,
right?
It's not husband and wife. No, they have a couple locations, but they have great options. Everything is super fresh. They use like no preservatives or additives, anything. So when you're going there, it's actually like all the nutrients and yummy stuff.
Yeah.
And they have like pressed juices that they make, which are like also shelf stable. So if you grab some, you can be like, oh, keep them in the fridge for a little bit. But like I said, they have great smoothies. They have acai bowls. They have, I believe they're partnered with the Steelers now. So they like provide them with like smoothies and stuff during practice. I think they're doing a lot of really cool stuff. So they're definitely one to check out.
When you go, do you have any go-to order or a particular smoothie that you like?
There's a juice I love so much. It's called Don't Stop the Beat. And it's a gorgeous beet color. And I'm not a big beet guy, but it's just like light and a little citrusy, and it's really once good. I drink one, I'm like, I'm taking over the world. Like you just feel like so good. So definitely recommend.
Live Fresh Juicery.
Yes.
They've got 4 locations around
all
the city.
Around, yeah.
And perfect as we get into these warmer months. It sounds so refreshing.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
You can follow Caleb on Instagram at Cravings with Caleb. Now, if you're surrounded by cookies in your everyday business, what are you craving after work? Nick of Inside Out Cookie shares a favorite meal. Hey, we're joined today with Nick of Inside Out Cookie. Nick, when we were here last, we talked all about your business, about eating cookies, about the different flavors that you have and the fillings inside the cookie. I always like to ask business owners like you, when you're not in the shop or out eating cookies and selling cookies, do you have a dish that you crave that you just love as a go-to at home that's maybe not on the sweet side?
Yeah. My mom's meatloaf.
Oh.
Yeah.
What makes mom's meatloaf so special to you?
It's just comfortable.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, anytime she asks if she can make me something, it's going to be meatloaf.
Every time?
Yeah. Unless I say cookies. Yeah.
On your cookie day off.
My mom's cookies, I don't care how much I study cookieology, my mom's cookies will always be better. Made with love.
Well, I want to ask more about this meatloaf, though. Like, does she do the ketchup-y thing on top?
Oh, yeah.
She does.
Definitely.
Oh.
Yeah, it's you got to have that.
You have to.
Yes.
Now, is this something that you will have just as a meal itself, or will you ask for the leftovers and do a meatloaf sandwich?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as hard as I might try, I can't eat the whole
thing at once.
That's a lot, right?
She'll make you one and you'll take it home.
Yeah. And that's great too, because meatloaf is always good next day, even better sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flavors all come together. And
I love that. Meatloaf sandwich, hot or cold?
Hot.
Oh, see, I like this.
Yeah.
See, now when we're getting into the hot territory, I need like gravy on mine.
For sure.
Or like toasted bread and mayonnaise. That's my
Yeah?
Yeah. How do you have?
I've never had mayonnaise.
Never had mayonnaise?
On a meatloaf sandwich? No.
Okay.
No. I'm a mayonnaise guy. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I like mayonnaise on sandwiches.
We won't fight. All right. Mom's meatloaf. I would love if you could part with some of the magic and get me that recipe.
I could get it.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Nick of Inside Out Cookie, thanks for talking about mom's meatloaf.
Absolutely. I'll always talk about my mom's meatloaf.
thank you so much for being on the Pittsburgh Dish.
Thank you for having me.
If you enjoyed the show, we would love for you to become a monthly monetary supporter. Just click the link at the bottom of this show's description or visit our website at pittsburghdish.com and tap the support button. And if you want to follow my own food adventures, you can find me on social media at Doug Cooking. That's our show for this week. Thanks again to all of our guests and contributors, and to Kevin Selecki of Carnegie Accordion Company for providing the music to our show. We'll be back again next week with another fresh episode. Stay tuned.